Yeah, welcome back. We are going to discuss regarding selection now. In previous class, we understood what is recruitment. That recruitment it is a process of identifying the prospect employees, prospect candidates, or prospect employees, or prospect applicants for a specified job and stimulating them to apply for a job. That is called recruitment. Now we are coming to the selection. Selection it is a process of choosing the best employee or best applicant to fill a particular position into the organization based on the job analysis. So here we identify in the recruitment process, we identify a pool of applicants, and in the selection process, we try to carefully evaluate the employees or the candidates who applied for the position, and are from the number of applicants, we choose a right candidate. After careful screening, we try to identify an prospect candidate for a specified position into the organization. There are the different definitions which is specify what is a selection. According to the Daly order, it says that selection it is a process in which the candidate for employment are divided into the class those who are selected, those who can be offered employment, and who are not. Simple. So those to whom we are able to offer the employment, that is called the selection. And here we have another definition, Kitrevi's definition, which is the standard definition for the selection. Selection it is a process by which an organization choose from a list of screened applicants. We will select one candidate or one applicant from the screened applicant, the person or persons who best meet the selection criteria for the positions available. Selection criteria will be decided based on the job specifications. Job specification indicate that what is the job, what qualities required, and what type of candidates are required. The job specifications will determine that, like a physical, mental, psychological, and psychological characteristics. So there are 4 characteristics that we studied. That 4 characteristics will be considered and select one best candidate for the particular position. Actually, the selection it is in while we are going to be choosing a selection procedure or the selection method, we need to consider the cost of recruitment and selection. If we made an that depends upon to the number of recruitment number of applications, and it depends upon to the type of position. We try to determine the selection method, and the selection, while determining the selection method, we need to consider the cost associated for the selection process. So this is about the what is the selection. Now we understood the selection it is a process of choosing one best applicant from the screened applicant or applicants to meet the selection criteria for the position available into the organization. That is called selection. We have in a selection procedure. So first of all, we need to set the objective for the selection process to determine whether an applicant meet the qualifications for the specified job, or choose the applicant who is the most likely to perform the particular job. So this is the basic objective. Selection objective is choosing the one applicant or number of applicants from the applied applicants. So here the selection is a long process commencing from the preliminary interview of the applicant to the ending of a contract of employment, that is called induction. So here there are different major factors that should be considered while we are going for the selection process. Selection process depends upon number of candidates available for the selection. So second is an selection process depends upon to the source of recruitment or method to be adapting for making a contact with the prospective candidates. And the third is, factor is various steps involved into the selection process depends upon to the type of personnel to be selected, depends upon the position, depends upon to the person, depends upon to the source of recruitment, depends upon to the number of candidates available, are the factors which is impact onto the selection procedure. So here we are having these steps into the selection process. There are total 9 steps we are having. So excluding of evaluation and the application, we are having the 9 step. So first we here in the selection process, first we will identify the pool of applicants to the recruitment process. In recruitment, we will identify the prospect employees and stimulate them to apply for the job. then we do the preliminary screening and interview. So what we do here, we try to eliminate those who do not fulfill the job requirement. How we will identify the job requirement depends upon to the job analysis. Once we do the job analysis, we will match the candidate profile with the job profile. So according to that, we will identify, we will make the preliminary screening. After that, we will give an application blank. So if you see that the steps are explained in detail, once the application pool are selected, preliminary interview will conducted, then the application blank. Third step is application blank. A blank application will be provided to the candidate to give a preliminary information as well as aid to the interview by inducting areas of interest and discussion. It is a good means of quickly collecting verifiable base historical data from the candidate. What we do, a factual data will be collected from the candidate regarding by giving a blank application form, ask them to fill that application form. With that, we'll identify the what is the candidate profile will be examined very clearly. In simple language, we call it as a curriculum vitae or a resume or a blank application. Usually, companies will prefer to give the blank application form, and with that, they try to gather the data regarding the biographical data, educational attainment, work experience, salary and benefits required are expected, present and expected, and other items like employee reference and his what is the future plans of the employee candidate, and what is his success stories, and what he achieved in previous, his progress. So these are all the content will be there in the application blank. Third step is application blank. Fourth step is we select the test. Oh no, we need to go for a selection test. Which test is in highest, is in preferable, that will be preferred based on the number of applicants, type of position, and as well as the recruitment process or the recruitment process. These three things factors will impact onto the selection of tester. Sir, in previous application blank, for every aspect we will give a weightage. Those who get a higher weightage, then they will be called for they will be selected for the selection test. So in the under the selection test, usually a selection test is normally a supplement the information provided in the application form, such as form may contain the factual information about the candidate. From the blank application, we try to identify the information and we try to go for an appropriate test will be conducted, depends upon to the nature of the job, and depends upon to the job analysis and the recruitment process and number of candidates requirement. Based on that, selection process will be done. So here we are having the different methods are there, like aptitude test. So here we try to identify the talent and ability to learn and given in a job. So aptitude will be identified. And second test is a personality test. For some sort of jobs, they require certain sort of personality, both internal and as well as the external. That regarding to the personal traits like emotional balance, cooperativeness, motivation, adjustment to stress, to the everyday life, capacity of interpersonal relations, self-image. So in these aspects, we try to do the test. An interest test, here we try to ask the likes and dislikes of the employee applicant and their school subjects, occupation, amusements, peculiarities of the people, and particular activity related to the job. That interest test will be identified by using of the interest test. And we have a performance test also for certain jobs. We ask the employee to perform certain tests like a typist job and other thing, where we are able to measure their fast and other, where we are measure their quality of work nature. We go for the performance test. We have an intelligence test where they will identify the in mental ability or mental capacity of the person. And here we here we use a tool like a memory testing, comprehensive testing, picture arrangements, word influence, so numbers. So these are all word fluency. No, these are all activities are done to test the intelligence of the people. So here we, based on that, we try to judge whether the employee is, the candidate is suitable or not. We do the knowledge test. Actually, this test will be used to assess whether the employees are having certain skills already, and what is anticipated and what is having, that will be examined at the knowledge test. And achievements test, this is in capacity to learn to the future achievement of the concern. And when applicant climb to seeking something, and an achievement test is being measured to know the knowledge level of that. And the projective test test would include the applicant project, his personality, into the free response about their picture shown to him, and the projective test, and what is the judgment orientation. This test will be conducted. These are the selection tests. We will select one type of test based upon the requirement. After that, next step is interview. In interview, there it is it is a processor to get the information from one person to access his potential for job, or he is being considered on the basis of overall response of the applicant, or to the oral inquiry by the interviewer. So interviewer, what you do is formal in-depth conversation with the applicant and evaluate the suitability. There are different objectives are there for the interview method, and this under the interview, to obtain the additional information, because our application blank will provide the information, but to get an additional information, interview will be suitable. And to facilitate giving the candidate information about the job, company and its policies and procedure. So here HR will communicate regarding what is the company policy, goal or procedures, to access the basic suitability of the candidate, to assess that whether candidate is suitable to the job or not by the interviewer board, as a board or a single or board will be constituted, and interview will be conducted. The selection of interview can be on one-to-one between, or two or more interviewers, or by panel of selections. You can say one, two or more panel can be established, and we can do the selection process. There are type of interviews are degree of structure. It depends upon the degree of structure, purpose of interview, content of interview. Degree of structure is some are unstructured interviews and structured questions. Unstructured question interviews, it is a non-directive. We will ask the questions as come in the mind according to the time constraint, that according to the time. No, there is no formal approach will not be there. Open-ended questions will be more here. In the structured question, in the structured interview, directly we will respond to the specified objective, and we will ask the number of questions related to that only. In a structural manner, the similar questions will be asked to all the candidates. And the second type is the purpose of interview. The interview will be designed to predict the job performance, or on the basis of applicant response, we will ask the questions. So usually here the stress interview will be conducted for the purpose of interview. Sometime to whether the concern is capable of stress managing or not, we go for the stress interview. And content interview, it is an interview, is an individual ability towards of the particular project will be examined, and it is a job related interviews comes under the content interviews. Sometimes we do the behavioral interviews also, depends upon to know their behavior in a pattern in while doing the job, that called attitude test will be conducted. And simulation interviews are also will be given, that called role play and other things comes under this scenario. We will give a situation, ask the employee applicant to act towards that. In behavioral, it is one sort of behavioral interview that we used to describe they did to react to the situation in the past and present, and how he is supposed to be in the organization, that will be examined. And we have a last but one is in background investigation. Once the selection test is over, interview is over, we do the background selection investigation, that to know the employees formal previous historical information, job related, personal and other verifications will be done. Physical examination, we see that the final step is, and we do the physical examination whether the candidate is suitable to the job physically, mentally, emotionally, that will be considered under physical examination. And after that, we get an approval from the higher authorities, and final employment decision will be taken for the particular post with a particular salary and with the particular working condition. I mean, here we try to provide an appointment order with a full appointment order, that it consists of all the information related to their procedures, that called compensation, position, and work location. These are all things will be there for the final appointment decision. Once the selection is done, we try to make an evaluation. This is not comes under the selection process, but end of the selection process is the evaluation process. Here we see that we do as an selection audit will be conducted, whether we selected the right candidate or not by the human resource department, that will be evaluated. And if the selection procedure is suitable, it will be continued, and if not so, the new procedure will be adapted for the forthcoming interviews or forthcoming selections. So after that, people will be placed for the induction and the selection. They will be inducted into the specified job into the organization. That's all. Thank you.